Why, hello, and welcome to issue 648 of Geek in the City Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Duran.
I'm one of your other hosts, Bean Rita.
And I am your other host, Kaebel Hashitani.
Greetings, programs.
Howdy. Howdy.
I don't think you've actually said that in a really long time.
I know, it's funny. Like, I will still sometimes open the text of the show with greetings programs, and I almost never use it anymore. But, still my thing. Kinda, sorta. Whoa. So how's everyone?
Fine.
Yeah, that's a
Cool, tight.
I reactivated my gym membership on Saturday, and started going back to the gym on Sunday and went early this morning because it opens at 7:00. So I got up at 6 to go to the gym.
Ooh.
Oh God. I don't know how I ever used to live that life. I used to get up and be out the door around 6:00 in the morning so I could go see my trainer before my 8:30 job. And I don't even get out of bed before 8:30 these days. I'm like, that's a different lifetime.
Momentum and inertia.
Yes, yeah, we talked about.
As we talked about.
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't even see how it was possible that this person here, this human, got up before 6:00 ever in her life.
That's because that was
willingly.
That was pre-2020. Pre-2020 versions of all of us are totally different people that we would just look at and go, "Who the fuck are you?"
That's true. Pre-2020 me used to get up early and go jogging every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I actually do really want to get back into something. I've been going through all those different therapies since January, and I am finally at a point where I'm not always in pain. And I mean, I know that that's not I haven't solved a problem. I have mitigated an issue, and I do need to keep doing all the things that I'm doing. But I also know that if I had never stopped working out in the first place, I probably wouldn't have gotten so messed up.
So you got that going for you.
Yeah. But I'm like, when am I going to work out? I'm not going to get up early anymore. And then after work, there's dinner and chores and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think there's any more room in my life,
No. I mean, gross to add something to improve yourself.
I know. Ew.
What's the point of improving yourself when there's all this shit streaming? Whatever. What are we getting healthy for anyway?
What, just to live longer in this hellscape? Come on.
Yeah, so we can be ripped during the fall of humanity.
There is actually that's not a bad idea.
That might come in handy, come to think of it.
I guess. All right, great. I get to stick around 5 more years. It's
hard years too.
Yeah, it's like the 8th book of the Left Behind series or something.
Oh,
I don't know. God, my grandpa tried so hard to get me into those books. He was always like, I know you love fantasy and sci-fi so much. I think you'd really like these. I got half of the first one. And even at 13, I was like, these are bad. These are very bad. They are badly written. They're bad.
They're evangelical fiction.
Well, yeah, but in a way, so are the Chronicles of Narnia, and those aren't bad. Actually, those aren't evangelical. They're more allegorical towards Christianity.
That's correct.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. The Left Behind is very much American evangelical propaganda fiction.
Yeah.
It is one, I haven't read them. I've read the source material. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. I wonder if they ever made a role-playing game out of it.
Of course they have.
I'm not going to go look live while we're talking.
No, you're not.
Because I know there was a Christian fantasy role-playing game because I had it called Dragon Raid.
Ooh, Dragon
Raid. Man, it was weird and also kind of awesome. So you only use D10s. So the premise is that once Jesus left Earth, he went to this other planet that had like fantasy tropes and stuff. And so on this planet, the devil took the form, or the deceiver took the form of dragons and quote evil races. So like, orcs and trolls and stuff were the devil's races. Um and when Jesus showed up there, he showed up as like a light bringer warrior. I forgot. Oh, by the heroes are called light bringers. That's the other thing. And instead of dying on the cross in that world, what he did is he turned himself into a giant waterfall and let all the dragons breathe fire and evaporate him. And then he went off as steam into the clouds and then returned 3 days later as like this like tiny like benign meteor storm. And that's how they justify the use of the D10. So when you buy the box set, it came with 2 D10s that were like clear, like the crystalline style. And when you actually hold the D10 up, like from point to point, if it's a clear one, it makes a little star in the middle, just naturally because of the shape of a D10.
Mm-hmm.
So in the game, that star was a reminder of the Savior's love for you every time you looked through it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Ow! My eyes rolled so hard. It just
and
fuck, that hurt.
It still had like spell casting, but to make it not the devil, all of your spells are based on the ability to memorize and recite Bible verses, and the stronger the spell, the bigger the Bible verse. So yeah, my mom got me that book thinking it would help scratch the fantasy itch of wanting to play D&D, which like it didn't. And in the end, it kind of backfired because the few times I played it with some friends, she caught me like memorizing some of the most metal sounding fucking passages in the Bible and like jumping on the bed and being like, and just like screaming them out loud. You're like, burn the village, the whole thing. And she's like, well, this didn't work out very well for me. Anyway,
that could have gone any number of ways.
Yeah,
like because I feel like that's like origins for like a hard evangelist who eventually ends up being on TV.
I mean, possibly, yeah. I just wanted to sound really cool casting a spell. Like I didn't really care about the Bible verse. The one thing I will give this game, because this would have been like in the mid to late 80s, it came with a cassette that wasn't like proselytizing. It wasn't religious. It actually gave like a 15-minute like audio radio drama style of like actual gameplay. Like it was well produced. You had the sounds of like music and fighting and combat. And then the narrator cut away and said, that's an example of this. That's when you would use the die rolls. No, let's get back to the adventure. Like that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, all right, that's not bad. Anyway, Dragon Raid, kids. Tangent 1.
Oh my god, don't encourage people to keep track because I don't know, that way lies danger.
I'm kind of surprised and hurt that no one has yet.
That's too much to keep up with.
That's true.
Well, since we've already completed one tangent, this is probably a good time to insert what are we on about tonight?
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, a couple of highlights from Star Wars Celebration, and then Avatar Book 2, episodes 13 and 14, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, so do we dive right into Obi-Wan?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Obviously, we're going to have spoilers, guys, so if you haven't watched it yet, come back in 30 minutes. Roughly. I don't know. Man, that sucker opens with Order 66. Just goes right at it.
Oh,
sure
yeah.
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very awkward. I think they now have a disclaimer at the beginning of it now. So does Stranger Things season 4.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't
We're-
either, but it also opens with things happening in a school. Granted, it's like 11's creepy government. Hey, we're gonna use your bodies school, but still a school.
Yeah, we're I think we're gonna hold off to get to July when the rest of
That's
the
what I'm
season
doing
comes
too.
out. Yeah.
So you can just catch it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a good Pokemon trainer would. Ba-dum-bum. I don't think I had the same. I think I talked about this when the first trailer dropped. It's like I don't have the same relationship with Obi-Wan Kenobi and love of the character that a lot of people do.
Sure.
And I certainly was. We watched the first 2 episodes not back to back, which is kind of my fault because I put it on way too late and then realized, oh, we were supposed to go to bed. So we watched episode 1 and then episode 2 the following day, and maybe that killed some of the momentum. It's hard to tell, but it still felt like 2 very different episodes. It was fine. It just didn't have a lot of. It didn't have oomph, and I think I get that's what they're supposed to be going for.
Yeah, it not having oomph is probably why I liked it. I liked that slow kind of 2 episode of like this character who is just like racked with guilt with having failed like his brother, and it is so deeply impacting him that to where like he even has problems partially by choice, but even has problems just accessing the Force now.
Sure.
He's just cut himself off.
He's spent 10 years not practicing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I really like that kind of slow build up to it. Yeah, it's a good, for me it was a really strong start. I think Ewan McGregor's is like, but he's fucking great in everything he does. What I didn't expect, and I am pleasantly surprised, was basically the narrative 180 they pulled on everybody, because the trailer makes you think, yeah, he's going to go off planet, but it's all because he's protecting Luke.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he not protecting Luke. And I'm kind of like, didn't know that's what I wanted. But now that's what I want. Is, him protecting Leia. Like Leia's been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
I love the girl who's playing Leia. She's great. I read complaints about how she's like just too witty and snappy, and I'm like, well, in like 10 years she becomes like the princess and senator that so she's probably already going to be kind of a snarky little kid.
I don't want to cast aspersions on kids I've never met, but if like the 10-year-olds that you're hanging out with are mouth breathing dullards, that's on them. Like,
yeah,
I've met some really fucking whip smart 10-year-olds. I've met 10-year-olds that have zero problem putting adults in their place.
My immediate instinct is that no, you don't have a problem with a smart child, or you think that that's out of place. You just don't want to see a smart little girl on TV.
No.
Or a black woman in your Star Wars.
Or a black woman in your Star Wars. Yeah, we'll get to that, I'm sure.
Oh, boy.
It's so depressing when they finally announced that like Lucasfilm actually warned her months ago, like, get ready. We'll try to help, but you're going to get the ugliest of emails and messages you can possibly imagine.
Yep.
So that's super encouraging.
Insert our standard, dear fans of things, stop being fucking assholes. You're not listening to this show anyway, so I
no,
know
you're not.
Probably not.
Yeah, no, I know. So yeah, but I'm digging this kind of like burned out Obi-Wan who's basically working a meat packing plant, a Tatooine version of a meat plant.
Yeah.
And I love that he's like, stealing some, to feed his was it Owapo? His camel.
Space camel.
His space camel.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ewan McGregor was interviewed, and he was really excited that this time he actually got to ride a camel. Unlike in episode 2 and 3, he's like, they just put you on one of those balance beams, and you just kind of have to do this yourself. He's like, I got to ride a real camel, and then they just digitally swapped it out. It's so much
Just
better.
the little things.
Yeah.
Are they filming in front of the volume?
For a lot of it, yeah. Especially the scenes on the casino planet, the cyberpunk planet.
Oh, sure.
That and
It's
there are
not
times
proper cyberpunk. It's not bisexually lit.
Okay. There are some of those where you can tell it's the volume too, because the volume, the one thing it can't do is create. This is going to sound so weird. It's always going to kind of look like it's on a set, and that's
Sure.
because of like the floor,
Mhm.
which I know seems weird, but that's always kind of the giveaway of the volume. It's still amazing, and I fucking love it. But yeah, I mean, I had some, some slight pacing issues, which I always have. Like everyone's kind of making fun of chasing young Leia on Alderaan through the forest, with Flea and the bad guys.
They commented on the fact that she was not as physically able or capable of
Yeah,
pulling off that chase, so that like they did what they could, and it's like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I mean, even beyond that, even if she could have, like for me personally, storytelling wise, like I don't need that chase. Like,
No.
you can have Flea show up. She turns around, her Alderaan guard is there, gets shot. She spins back, sees Flea, you put a bag on her head, and then you're off and running.
I think that's been most of the, at least around the water cooler at Guardian. That's been the commentary, is like the feel of that entire chase feels almost comical, and then Flea kills a guy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It was like, oh, look at these like inept, mercs. Wow, they can't catch the 10-year-old. Yeah, blah blah blah. Like one of them is literally stopped by like a fallen tree that you could easily jump over. Like I could easily have jumped over, and he goes like, whoa. Yeah, and then it cuts to Flea just murking a dude, and you're like,
yep. Oh, okay.
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 Yeah. Well then.
He was the Flea. Like, I don't want to cast. Like, I get it. People who are famous are also big Star Wars fans, and he was probably really excited to be in Star Wars. That was the cameo that was the casting that fucking took me out. Like, as soon as he showed up on screen, I'm like, I'm watching a TV show.
Yeah,
I'm not in Star Wars. I'm watching a TV show.
I would agree with that. There have been other cameos in Star Wars where I've gone, well, like fucking, it wasn't even a cameo, it was an extended stuff. But when the client first appears in The Mandalorian, I go, oh shit, it's Werner Herzog. That still didn't take me out of the scene.
No.
At all.
Nope. Brian Posehn never took me out.
Yeah, never took me out.
Kumail Nanjiani is in episode 2.
Oh man,
like he's great. Didn't take me out of it at all.
He is great.
I actually really like him, but it felt like Kumail Nanjiani and not a character within the universe.
I get that.
So that one did take me out a little bit.
I can see that because he has a very specific sense of comedic timing.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like it whenever he's doing it. I still have a weird disconnect when I see jacked Kumail Nanjiani, even though this is how he's been for like 5 years now.
That is also weird.
And I still go, oh man, it's just weird.
Yep.
I mean, good for him, but I still go, that's weird.
I still blame Stuber for that. Like,
Stuber?
I don't think the movie he did with Dave Bautista. I don't think you hang out with Dave Bautista making a buddy comedy cop movie. And then get looked at for Marvel, and like Bautista not go, so here's my workout program. I think you should try this. I think it'll really help your chances.
Yeah.
Like that's what actors do. That's why like that was the thing with Stargate SG-1. The actor that played Teal'c worked out all the time and got to be friends with the actor that played Daniel Jackson. And the more they talked, that's why suddenly the character of Daniel Jackson, who is the nerd, who is supposed to be there to just read books and interpret things, like season 3, he comes in, it's like, dude, have you been working out? Yeah. You've literally been working out. Like he was fucking jacked. Like he went from Stargate SG-1 to play shirtless Hawkman on Smallville because he could. It's like, damn, dude,
Well, I mean,
you got ripped.
good for him.
Yeah, but you know, that's actors talk to one another and they share their hobbies. You know,
Yeah. I'm really enjoying the character of Riva. Like, I'm super excited to see where we go with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because her agenda does not seem.
Yes.
it is not. Yeah.
It is clouded, and
Yeah.
I've never. It's like it's neat to see a character who's actively using the Inquisitors to further her own agenda. It's like, oh, that's different and dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, I'm starting to think, and there's an extra reason why she loathes Obi-Wan.
Yeah, there's some like direct beef between the two of them. Like maybe not that, and maybe nothing that Obi-Wan is aware of, but like obviously he did something that impacted her in a big way, and like, he's oblivious to it, but she has a vendetta. Kind of reminds me of those two sisters that Ahsoka meets in the
Mm-hmm.
the lower levels, and they're like, no, we fucking hate those people because all they do is like tear through your city, for their own purposes, and they don't really slow down to look at what collateral damage they're leaving behind, like our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my gut tells me that somehow she was impacted during the purge. That she was an older youngling or a very young Padawan. And in her mind, Obi-Wan made it worse. I'm not sure. But my gut tells me she was at one time associated. I mean, every Inquisitor, as per canon, was a Jedi at first.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also the youngest Inquisitor.
I could see that.
Yeah, we have that line where the brother with says like, you were a gutter rat.
Mm-hmm.
She also, I don't want to phrase it this way, but she has more than that fearful respect for Vader. She acts like someone that kind of understands where Vader's coming from. And since she's a
rebel, or she's a Vader groupie.
Well, I mean, they've already established she knows that Vader is Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't think about how weird that is.
Yeah, it is a little odd because mostly that's like a really well kept secret. So I get like this weird vibe that like we all know that for as evil as he is, Anakin can also be kind of an emo kid. And he may recognize something in like the early years of Vader. He may recognize something in Riva of like, oh, she had a shitty childhood like me, was manipulated. Like they might have this weird kind of, trauma bond together that the other Inquisitors just don't have because they're just tools they're just the hand of the Emperor kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Riva's different. So yeah, I'm like really excited to see what they do with that character, and where she goes. So, and the actress is great, but I've liked her. I haven't seen her in a lot because she hasn't been in a lot, but everything she's been in, she's been fantastic. So,
and that's Moses Ingram.
Yep.
I was thrilled that the fifth brother is Sun Kang.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's like, oh, okay. Good on you.
Yeah.
Moses Ingram, I think her two biggest things
the Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit and the Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah. I like when they're like, oh, her acting's wooden. She's not a good actor. I'm like, yeah, okay.
I'll have to see you do some Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's code for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is there a black woman in my Star Wars?
Did you guys see Anson Mount sticking up for her?
No.
It was on his Instagram. He kind of lost it. Like he basically posted the pictures that Lucasfilm did, like there's no place for racism in the Force kind of thing. And he just kind of went off and then like ended it with like, your Star Trek brothers and sisters will always have your back. And I was like, oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
It
took racists to bring Star Trek and Star Wars together.
Yeah.
He's already bringing us the best fucking Star Trek. He can't. Oh god damn it! He can't be doing this off screen too. It's too much. It is too much.
Yeah. You guys check out his podcast too. It's very good.
What's his podcast?
It's oh my god, I just went blank.
I have the internet.
Is it a
I
Star
can look
Wars
it up.
podcast?
No, it's called The Well, because he likes to dive deep. And it's just, it's totally random what he talks about. You know, sometimes he'll get another celebrity, sometimes it's his buddy. But if you like those soft, dulcet tones of sensitive Pike when he's not on the bridge, that's basically what The Well sounds like for 90 minutes every week. Because he always was like, hi, I'm Anson Mount. You're listening to The Well, where I sit down and talk with friends with anything that we find interesting.
Good Lord, he's got an interview here with Kenneth Mitchell. Nope, I can't do this. That's too much. Nope. That's a lot. Sorry, I don't. Nope. You got to stop. I'm gonna completely derail and go back into Trekland.
Yeah, no. Let's stay in a galaxy far, far away.
Yes. Let's do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean,
I'm also excited for the Lego sets that are coming out of this.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I'm
Of
not
course.
buying. Like the last Star Wars set I bought was the Razor Crest, because it's the fucking Razor Crest. But man, there's a couple coming out. One for and Aaron, you can share the links if you want to. One for
me.
For Obi-Wan, which is the Inquisitor transport scythe that comes with the Grand Inquisitor. It comes with Reva. I'm Undercover, Obi-Wan, and Fifth Brother. Oh man, now I really want it just because it's Sun Kang. They've all got those double spinning lightsabers that are really cool.
Do they come apart? It seems like it's two lightsabers with a half circle hilt, and then when you put the hilts together, then that's when the blades spin around that circle.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it.
That's what they do, because they use those in Rebels.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the ambush on Ferrix, which comes from another Star Wars show that we'll talk about, Andor.
Yeah, you want to just
roll right into that?
Yeah, I think we've kind of. I mean, do we have more to say about Obi-Wan?
Not really. So, I think everyone more or less likes it.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
waiting to see more.
It's capturing that era.
More of it.
Good night.
Now,
I pretty much agree with all of your guys' sentiments, so I don't really have a ton to add.
Cool.
Oh man, I just realized the Reva minifig has a full-on mohawk. That's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, she does. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's one of my favorite hair pieces that they've started producing in the past 5-10 years.
I saw something funny on Black TikTok where they're all like, whoa, they're all talking about how much they love Reva, and then they're stopping, they're like, wait a minute. The Death Star has people that does fucking weaves? Because she's not doing that hair herself. They're like, we're not mad, but who on the Death Star is doing weaves?
They've got a droid.
It's totally a droid.
They have a droid for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen videos of girls doing their own weave.
What? I mean, I guess also if you're a fucking Force user, can't you just go and do it?
Sure.
You know, like a Jedi might say, like, that's an abuse of the Force, and the Sith would be like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That like the Jedi's would look at that as frivolous.
It would, because Anakin commented when he just lifted the pear for Padme and like cut it with the knife in the air. He's like, Obi-Wan would hate me doing this.
So I'm just showing off.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, what's the point of having the Force if you can't like be in the living room and go and just pull a beer out of the fridge? What's the point of being a Jedi if you have to get off the couch for everything you need, right?
I know. Be a Samantha, not a Darren.
That's a hell of a deep cut. Well done.
Yep. Yes, that
Nicely
is.
done.
You're all welcome.
Well, from that, let's go on to Andor. They had the trailer dropped on Star Wars Celebration
Yeah.
with
For the 3 people who don't know, Star Wars Celebration was over the weekend.
I forgot that it was coming up until I started. I was like, "Oh shit, really? Oh yeah, I guess so."
Yeah, I started seeing Instagram posts from friends who were there.
Oh wow.
It's like, oh right, that's good for you.
Yeah, I'll go some year. It's in London next year.
London.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the Andor trailer takes place. I think it's like a year or so before Rogue One. That's where they're placing Andor.
Okay.
Since he dies in Rogue One, spoilers. Everyone dies in Rogue One, spoilers.
Except Vader.
Except Vader. That's right. And Wedge, because Wedge is there, isn't he?
Yes, Wedge gets away.
Yeah.
Wedge always lives.
That's right.
Maybe he was the chosen one.
I do like that this is potentially delving into an area of Star Wars that I don't think a lot of people think about when they think about Star Wars and like the Rebel Alliance, and the harsh realities of being a very small guerrilla warfare style rebellion going up a galaxy-wide empire. You're gonna do some morally gray shit to overthrow that empire.
I think too, this is the area where people should be thinking about more when they think about Star Wars. They don't, because it's not the fun mystical fantasy story of magic space wizards with laser swords.
And one special family for the whole galaxy.
Yep. And it's not the fun roguish miscreants like Han Solo and Lando Calrissian that we love.
Mm-hmm.
It is everyone else is getting shit on all the time.
Yeah, and shot at and blown up, and
and then and this isn't a stab at Imperial cosplayers, because I know that they have taken that image and gone a completely different direction with it. But the people who are always like, yeah, I'm really into the Empire, it's like, don't trust you.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. They're snappy dressers, but fascists are always really good at that shit. That's part of how you get all fascisty. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how they treat this. Especially how it pertains to Mon Mothma, who we saw in the trailer. I'm always excited to get more Mon Mothma. The character has always fascinated me. Because historically in Star Wars, she is the one that held out the longest at this can be done in the Senate. Like, we can fix this from within. We don't have to start a rebellion. And then eventually she becomes the fucking voice of the rebellion. And how does she get there? How does that impact her as well? She is the biggest. She's more of a pacifist than Bail is, and Alderaan is a completely de-weaponized planet. That's the point of Alderaan. I mean, they have guards and whatnot, but Alderaan has no army. It has none of that. It has no standing military. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what direction that goes in. I think it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be the grittier of them. And if that's an element of Rogue One people didn't like, I don't see them liking Andor.
Mm.
You know. So, yeah.
I also don't need shout outs to other Star Wars in Andor, with the caveat of if they find a way to bring back Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malbus, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know
There is
how.
not enough Donnie Yen in my Star Wars. There just isn't.
Not enough Donnie Yen and everything. Norm just brought up there's a woman she does human resources cosplay for the Empire, and that is kind of hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, if you haven't seen her, I haven't seen them on TikTok because I'm 50 and I don't have TikTok. I watch my TikTok videos in my FYP on Instagram, as God intended old men to do. But yeah, Norm's right. She's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah, I'm trying to see what else we can talk about with the Andor thing. I don't know if you guys have additional thoughts.
I really don't. It's again, like it's a teaser. It doesn't tell us a lot, but it shows us a lot of. Doesn't show us a lot of Andor, Cassian Andor himself. It shows us a lot of the part of the universe that he's in and affecting, and how the Empire affects that. A lot of fascists in really nice suits.
Yeah, they always look good.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't get a chance to see it, so.
Oh, all right. Well, do we want to jump over to everybody watch the Willow trailer? I think that was the other really big news that came out of South. I mean, yeah, there's going to be the Fallen Order sequel, Jedi Survivor. There's a lot of cool Star Wars stuff coming.
Yep, there was at the Ahsoka panel, there was the reveal that Chopper is going to be in it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. So that ties it into Rebels, which a lot of us were expecting anyway.
Yeah.
I want my live action Sabine Wren. Oh, wait, we do have a live action Sabine Wren.
We are getting a live action Sabine
Wren.
Oh,
man. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
John Watts of the Spider-Man Home series for Marvel is getting his own TV series called Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which focuses on a bunch of 10-year-olds and stars Jude Law not as a 10-year-old. I'm presuming. I don't know.
That does track. I mean, he can play younger, but I think that's pushing it.
That's a little bit out of his range, I think.
Yeah,
just a tad.
But yeah, the complete non-Star Wars thing that got revealed at Celebration was a return to the universe of Willow. Willow Ufgood, is that right? Is that the character's name?
I believe so. I will be the first to admit that I remember enjoying Willow when I first saw it, but I don't think I have ever seen it again since the first time I saw it on VHS
in the 80s
or at my grandparents' HBO.
See, and I never saw it. I saw it as an adult. Like, I had to actively seek it out because it was one of those things that was always on the TV, like at grandparents that had cable or at someone else's house, but I never paid attention to it.
Right.
And then I sat down and watched the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, this was fun.
And I couldn't tell you if I've seen it or not, because if I did, I was pretty young, and again, I don't have access to those memories. So I don't know. It feels like something I would have seen at some point, but not since childhood.
Like it was a different take on the whole the chosen one type of thing, where the hero of the movie is not the chosen one. He's not the stereotypical hero. He's the character that he's not even the sidekick. Like, he is the character that is brought in for comic relief. And Willow Ufgood is played by Warwick Davis, who is a little person. I don't know what the proper term is anymore for that.
I believe it is still little person.
Yeah, I believe so. And absolutely ageless, by the way, because I've seen some preview images, and so like current day Warwick Davis looks incredible, even though I feel like he's been around a million years.
He has, but as Aaron was pointed out, when he did Return of the Jedi and played Wicket T. Warwick, he was 14, you
I
said?
think he was 14 when he was Wicket.
Which is
Right.
like the age that I was when Jedi came out. So he's
Yeah.
like, I can probably look it up and find out how old he is, but that puts him in his 50s at most.
No, yeah, I do get that. Like, part of why it seems that way is because he actually has been in the industry for so many years. But
Yes.
Yeah. He's 52. Sorry, I had to. Yeah. Yeah. So what?
Oh, I'm
Jedi.
mispronouncing. It's Warwick.
It's
Warwick Davis.
Yeah,
not
because
Warwick.
Uh,
Oh yeah, he just.
I
turned
just thought I
52.
had it wrong all these years. Oh, happy birthday, Warwick Davis!
Yep.
Yeah.
So like I like the hero or the swashbuckling hero of Willow was Mad Mardigan, played by Val Kilmer, in one of his most iconic roles, for to be sure. And then there was the evil queen. There was and her daughter that was also a female warrior that switched from being bad to being good. They have the scary general that worked for him. They have the comedic fairy folk that run around with them. So that has all of the elements. And then there's also the chosen child who's a baby that they're trying to save. And that was all Willow was supposed to do, was they just protected this child and also learned how to cast spells. Like, went from being I'm just a person that lives in this tiny village, and now I'm a magician that's in charge of this kid. So like it was one of those Lucas things where he wanted to do something different with the same story.
Yeah, and make something for kids again, because you know that some of Lucas's own fondest memories he talks about is going to serials as a kid at the theater. So he's like, that's what I want to do when I make movies, is entertain kids. Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks fun. I mean, it actually makes you want to go back and watch the movie. Like, the trailer was pretty effective in that. Like, all right, maybe I need to go back. And I don't want to say like I didn't like Willow. I don't remember it leaving an impression on me, but I have since met like Willow fans, and much like Moon Knight, there are Willow fans. Like, they are into Willow, and I was like, wow, that's a really dedicated fan base. I should go check it out again. And
wow,
see.
I keep forgetting it was directed by Ron Howard.
Yep. I think it was.
He must have been young.
This was 1988.
Oh, then he had it done because he did Splash, and also, yes, Ron Howard started pretty young when he was directing.
Yeah, I said I don't actually know when he started directing. He's 68 now.
Splash was his first movie.
What year is Splash?
1984.
It's like, I feel like I just saw a poster for Splash.
You did.
84.
Nope.
84.
Night Shift was his first movie.
Oh yeah,
1982.
This is Chuck to remind Bill to shut up. To shut up.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Night Shift was Keaton, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Keaton and Henry
Winkler, of course.
Yeah, they end up becoming pimps, working the night shift of a morgue.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay.
But the way they do it though is that Henry Winkler actually, like, the women they only get like 10%, and he creates like retirement plans and investment portfolios for them. Because the whole reason why Henry Winkler's character takes a job at the night shift of the morgue is he's a burned out corporate accountant. It's a weird movie.
God damn, it had Shelley Long in it too. Jeez.
That's so weird.
And Clint Howard. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Well, of course. Yeah. Yeah, so he did Night Shift, and then he did Splash.
Yep.
And if I remember the story correctly, they were trying to raise money for Splash, and he seriously, because he got offered a certain amount of money to star in a porn, because they were going to call it Opie Gets Laid, and he's mentioned that he got really close because they were so hard up for money. But he was like, but if I make a porn, I won't ever get to make quote regular movies. But they was going to be called Opie Gets Laid.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you did just see the poster it was in the bathroom at Movie Madness.
Yep.
The Tom Hanks bathroom. It was very unsettling.
That's a weird choice, right? An all Tom Hanks bathroom.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. Yes, you're not wrong.
Okay, making sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's had such a long career.
Tom Hanks or Ron Howard?
No,
Ron Howard.
That dude has been in front of or behind a camera consistently since 1959.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, yeah.
Which means since he was 4? It says here he was born in 54.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, yeah.
Wow.
5. 54 to 59 is when 1959 is when the Andy Griffith Show started.
I mean, we're slicing.
Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Splitting hairs. Yeah, that's the and he's 68 now. What was the last thing he directed?
He was Dennis the Menace before he was Opie. God damn. Anyway,
what? I don't see that on here.
Andy Griffith was 1960 to 1968, and he also
he was Opie and Dennis the Menace at the same time. Then
he's also played Opie on multiple things. He was Opie Taylor on Mayberry RFD. He was Opie on Gomer Pyle USMC.
Gentle Ben.
Where's the other one?
He did a Twilight Zone
Danny
episode?
Thomas show. Jesus.
Hey, it's the Ron Howard episode.
Yeah, dude's been busy for a long time.
And to me, he was like Opie wasn't the first thing that I knew him as. Richie Cunningham was what I knew him best as.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in the Happy Days era.
Right.
Yeah, I know him best from Happy Days. I don't think I ever really watched the Andy Griffith Show, but I knew it was in syndication, so like I could have, and that's why I always run and little Ronnie Howard, even though I never watched it.
His greatest role, of course, being the narrator in Arrested Development. How did we get on to Ron Howard? Oh, Willow. Yes.
Which I think we covered. I think we're done with Willow. Right?
Yeah,
was that a John Williams score also?
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
I'm not even going to go back and check because I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that Warwick Davis is not the only person coming back for Willow. Like, I don't see her name immediately in the credits, but I saw her in the trailer. Joanne Whalley is going to be in it.
Oh, nice.
And Joanne Whalley was the evil queen's warrior daughter who then switches sides because she falls in love with Mad Mardigan.
Right.
Spoilers.
And their daughter's in the show too. Spoilers.
That would make sense. One of the actors that's in this is Erin Kellyman, who we recently saw last year in The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, right.
She was Carly Morgenthau, the woman who was the super soldier and kept giving the super soldier serum to other people.
Right.
And if you watch The Green Knight, she was also in that.
Oh, yeah.
As Winifred. I still need to watch that.
And I believe Val Kilmer is going to have a cameo in this because he's got a cameo in Top Gun also.
Oh, does he? Okay.
He does, yeah. And they use that AI technology that he did so that it's his voice, but he's not talking.
Right. They like sample
everything he ever said.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, with
That'll
his
be
blessing.
interesting.
I mean, that was with his blessing. They didn't just be like, surprise.
Right. Well, because he agreed to be in it, but he can't say anything in it. So no.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I think that's all we've got from Star Wars Celebration. That's that we want to dive into and whatnot. Yeah. What the hell are we supposed to do next? Oh,
Avatar, the Last Airbender.
that's it. I'm reading the scroll. Like, what was next?
It's right there. It's right there on the tin.
I know.
So I probably got a little ahead of the game because we didn't. I'm all messed up now on like episode numbers from like what Netflix tells you versus what the chapter name numbers are. Because last week we did.
That's because the Serpent's Pass and the Drill are merged into a single fracking episode.
And then
on Netflix.
I think you said we were gonna do episodes 13 and 14 this week.
Right. Mm-hmm. Episode 13 is the Drill, which was the second. Like if you look at it on the episode breakdown on Netflix, it's just called The Secrets of the Fire Nation.
Yes.
And it's a 47-minute episode. It's because they just merged episode 12 and 13 together. So episode 12 was the Serpent's Pass. That was the actual name of the episode. Episode 13 is the Drill.
But on Netflix, they call it one episode.
Right.
Secrets of what have you. Okay.
Yep.
Now I understand.
Right.
Did I watch the wrong episodes then?
You're probably fine. Don't worry about it.
The episodes that we should have watched for today are The Drill and The City of Walls and Secrets, which is episode 14, where we finally get into Ba Sing Se proper.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so I watched one wrong one then. I watched the one after they get into the city also, Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Tales of Ba Sing Se. Then you're in episode.
I did also see that, but I didn't like skip anything, so we're good.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I'll let you guys kind of lead the Drill. I don't really have a ton to say about the episode.
Well, we'll go with the synopsis. After arriving at the Great Wall of Ba Sing Se, and the gang discovered that the Fire Nation has constructed a great drilling machine to penetrate the wall. The Drill is also followed by an army of Fire Nation troops. Also, Zuko and Iroh are having trouble hiding the fact that they are both firebenders.
Yeah.
It's not how I would phrase that, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The Drill was I think it just showcases I don't know, the ruthlessness. I don't know.
I think if anything, it's the first time we get to see Aang really kick some ass in earthbending. But and I won't get into it too much, but since at least some of us have seen Tales of Ba Sing Se, that's a much better display in that episode. So
yeah, I guess I want to talk more about the Drill, except there's nothing stood out to me.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Is like it was. I feel like it was meant to be like the end of like the big ending to a longish arc.
Mm-hmm.
And so it should have felt more climactic, and it didn't.
Yeah,
like it does all of the things it needs to. It showcases how tough it is to actually get into the walled city, Ba Sing Se. How completely blasé the people of Ba Sing Se seem to be about attacks from the Fire Nation, or at least starts hinting at it.
Right.
It again showcases that Azula is the big bad for season 2.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure where the her two henchmen are going to end up. Like one of them always refers to Sokka as cute, so I'm like, you're gonna flip sides. I feel like that's what this keeps edging towards.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah,
She seems to be in it more for the thrill and the fun of it. She's not actively trying to cause people's death. The other two are. Like the bored one would love to kill someone because I think she finds that to be less boring.
Yes. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
And then Azula just she literally wants to bring the head of Aang's head to her father, like on a
Yes.
pike.
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What is interesting about this episode is technically every character does get to showcase their skills and abilities, and Sokka is the only non-bender on that team Aang, or team Avatar, I think he keeps calling him. But what he is bringing to the table, whether anyone would appreciate it or not, was like a lot of really good intelligence and trying to display leadership. I don't think it was quite working out the way he hoped it would, but it's not an invaluable thing that he did. And then again, like the finding the map and like helping formulate the plan that worked and saved the day. That's vital, and like Sokka's the one that did that.
I do agree with you that I think Sokka gets underappreciated.
Well, he plays a dum-dum a lot of the time.
He's written as a dum-dum, except he's not. Like,
yeah,
he keeps showcasing the fact that he's not really dumb.
Yes, exactly. He just acts the fool.
He does. He acts foolish a lot, which then gets people to underestimate him, and then he actually is more militarily savvy than his opponents.
That is, yeah, I forgot. This is not even the first time that he has been like the tactical brains of an operation.
He's the team strategist. Like Katara is the team adult, but he's the team strategist. I did think that the City of Wall and Secrets is a better episode, and I think showcases, like, everyone talks about the fact that the Fire Nation is supposed to be analogous to the United States. I think it's half of it, and the walled city of Ba Sing Se is the other half.
The half that keeps their head in the sand.
Yes.
That episode was super frustrating.
Well, not in. Well, yes,
intentionally.
It is intentionally, but only by a certain amount of people. Because the rest have no idea.
But even before they got really heavy on the whole, like, no, we don't talk about the war here. It's just it'll upset people. It'll create panic. Even before they got to that part, it was super frustrating. Just like this, like Kafka-esque bureaucratic system. They're like, we have important news that we need to share with the leaders of this city, and they're like, let's put you on a train that tour the whole city. Like, we'll inform them, and we'll hear back in 6 to 8 weeks whether or not your request has been approved. And I'm like, bitch, this is vital, urgent information.
It gave me like Brazil vibes, though, of like, no, don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
Exactly.
And I think it's supposed to be unnerving to the viewer.
It did a lot of, like, the forced memory wipe that they did on Jet. The disappearing of their first guide.
Oh my god, I almost forgot. Those are the creepiest parts.
Yes. Like, those are fucking disturbing.
Yeah, I think the replacing one person with another is the probably the most unsettling.
Yeah.
And not the
'Cause
brainwashing? Okay.
Yeah, I felt like the brainwashing was pretty fucked up.
Yeah. They're both they're neck and neck.
But here's the thing: is the brainwashing thing happens like in secrecy, right? But they just like deleted another human being
Mhm.
and put a new one in her exact same place, same name and everything. And now, like, she's just gonna go out into the world with that same person's name and pretend to be her, and it's not the same person. I don't know. That one feels more sinister to me because it's out in the open.
And
they know
also
they can.
because the powers that be are, then gaslight Team Avatar. We're like, no, this is your guy Jody. That is not Jody. Yes, it is.
Mhm.
This is the same Jody we've had the entire time.
Yeah.
That's more disturbing to me.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
I do remember when they first introduced the was it the Dai Li?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, they're evil. That's some secret police shit. Like the moment they see them, I'm like, yeah, those are not just city guards. They disappear people.
Yep, and then they did.
And then they did. But it's not that horrible as a nerd because they did it under orders of Clancy Brown. So you got that going for it.
See, I had to watch that episode today at work, and I had the volume off and only listened or read the caption, so I didn't hear any of the voice actors in this episode.
Yeah. He's just one of those voices. The minute you hear, you're like, oh, Clancy Brown. This is going to be a cool character. Or at least an interesting character.
Evil.
Not always. Usually always.
Usually always. Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
Still one of the best Lex Luthors.
Yep.
Oh, where does he play Lex Luthor?
Adventures of Superman, Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Batman animated series universe.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
God damn. That just reminded me of the Twitter exchange that happened a few years back.
When it was Superman's birthday?
Yeah, it was Superman's birthday, and John Cryer, who was playing Lex Luthor on Supergirl at the time, just made it's like, let's celebrate Superman's birthday. It was like a DC comic thing. He's like, I don't know. Kind of he's not all that great, guys. And then Michael Rosenbaum tweeted right back at him and was like, seconded. No, it was Clancy Brown that said seconded.
Clancy Brown, seconded.
And then Michael Rosenbaum said, also kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, all three Lex Luthors in a row. I'm like, I love this. I love this so much. I love all three of these actors. They were wonderful Lex Luthors.
Yeah. They all understood the assignment, as the kids say.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
They 100% did.
Yeah.
I don't think the kids are saying that anymore.
Well, I'm playing.
Just an FYI.
All right.
I mean, kids is relative. Like,
yeah,
I say that, and I mean people in their 40s. So,
yeah, but fine.
When I say it, I do mean the kids because they're right behind me.
However, when I say millennial, I mean people in their 30s. I don't mean teenagers because I know millennials are not teenagers.
Is that still a problem? Do people still not know?
Yes,
like, what the
fucking boomers still think millennials are fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
I don't think we've come up with what that one's called yet.
The current teenagers?
Yeah, because they're not Gen Z. Gen Z are 20-year-olds.
Oh. They probably have to start all the way at the top again, right? Gen A.
The alphas.
Oh, I don't want to give them that kind of power right away.
I'm going to call them apocalyptines.
There you go.
Oh, it's terrible because it's true.
Trademark copyright Geeking the City Radio.
Yeah.
Apocalyptines.
Don't worry, it'll get stolen eventually.
Where were we? We were in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. The happy, creepy city.
I like the fact that they have a district for poor people and refugees, the fact that they have a district for rich people, everything is being turned a blind eye. So if the Fire Nation represents the government and the military of the United States, then the walled city of Ba Sing Se represents the civilian quarter of it. the civilian sector.
Mhm.
And the two of these combined are the reason that everything is still fucking awful. Because if everyone in Ba Sing Se went, oh, maybe since we have the actual power to stop the Fire Nation, maybe we should. But we're too distracted.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about the war because it's unpleasant.
Yeah, we don't mention the war.
Which they can ignore, or at least they think they can ignore, because they live in an impenetrably walled city.
Right, which, like, there's the exterior wall of Ba Sing Se, and then there's the interior wall of Ba Sing Se, and then there are multiple walls within that. Like,
but that assumes your enemy doesn't come from above one day.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
which the Fire Nation really likes to do.
Yeah, they've got hot air balloons and shit. What are they bothering with a drill for?
Because they haven't really figured out hot air balloons. Like, hot air balloons for the Fire Nation are still in prototype phase.
Oh, that's right, because they were getting them from that Air Nation tribe, and then the Air Nation tribe fought back.
Those weren't Air Nation.
Who were they?
They were squatters in an Air Nation temple.
Yeah.
Well, and then which nation do they originate from?
I think they
never
were.
Gets covered.
They were just more refugees. Okay. The Air Nation, the only person living from the Air Nation is Aang.
You're right.
Yeah, they're all dead.
In the beginning of the episode, he thought that they were.
Yep.
They were Air Nation folks. Got my wires crossed. Cool. The point is, Fire Nation does not have hot air balloons yet.
Not yet.
Yet.
I really liked the ongoing Uncle Iroh joke of Jet being like, I saw him warm up his tea, and they're like, yeah, he makes tea.
He works in a tea shop, dude.
And then at the tea shop, he warms up his tea, and the one guard's like, yeah, he runs a tea shop. Like,
it's like
the delivery is always really good on that, but he makes it hot. That's his job.
Poor Jet.
I have no idea how the Jet storyline plays out. It feels to me that we lost Bean.
That's right. She was so offended
by Jet. Okay.
And she's back.
Yay!
That was weird. You guys started talking about me being gone, but I could still see and hear you and myself.
That was strange because you weren't here. Like, if you look at the Twitch feed, you're gone. Like, I'm looking at it right now. Not there. Still not there. There you are.
My lag might be at a different point.
Yeah.
Technology.
Weird. Well, now I'm waiting for me to disappear.
Future. And now she's disappeared again.
Okay, I did that. That one was mean.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
But not the first time.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel as though one of the directions that they could go with the Jet storyline is the person that has to break him out of prison and save him has got to be Zuko. To make it also part of Zuko's reformation.
Yeah, his slow redemption.
But I don't know. Like I have no idea. So like I know that Zuko and Team Avatar do join forces. I know that. But I don't know in the random, like, we will have it on at work, so I've seen like bits and pieces of season 3. Like, I have no idea if I ever see Jet anymore past season 2. So
yeah,
I just know that season 3 has the episode that I'm really, really looking forward to watching
Which one is
and
that?
then talking about. It's fucking hilarious is the one that it is. It's an episode that comes close to the, like, it's thrown in as a way to kind of break the tension before they go right into like the series finale of like 3 to 4 episodes of nothing but good God, it's Aang versus the Fire Lord Ozai, and the world is going to end. But yeah, I've seen it on there. like on the screen, I saw it start to play, and I'm like, I asked someone at work that's watched it, I'm like, I'm sorry, is this what's happening on the screen right now? It's like, yeah, this is the most meta episode in the entire series. I'm like, this is hilarious. I can't wait to get here.
Oh man, I'll have to see. Yeah, well, we'll get there.
Yep.
We're at about the halfway point for the series right now.
Huzzah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because if each season is 20-ish episodes, and so we're halfway through the second season.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're over because we've got the Tales of Ba Sing Se and Appa's Lost Days are episodes 15 and 16. And then
I accidentally watched one ahead, but that episode coming up.
Just one part of it is rough. The rest of it is actually kind of nice. And we'll talk about it next week. But
it's the one section of it that I was not expecting. It did emotions to me.
Well, Kaebel, have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Okay, then we will not talk
No.
about it. I was like, well, we could, but no, we're not ready.
The episode that I'm referencing in the third season is called The Ember Island Players.
I looked ahead at the episodes list.
And then episodes 18 through 21 is just Sozin's Comet parts 1 through 4.
We might have to set aside a whole episode to talk about just the whole finale, and then
I think so. I think I think you're right. I think I might take a closer look at some of these. Oof, because there seem to be a lot of two-parters in season 3.
So we might have to redo the count.
That's where they go full DS9. It just keeps going.
That's kind of what I was expecting, really. It does start off pretty episodic, but now we've got some returning characters and some deeper through lines.
Yeah, episodes 10 and season 3 episodes 10 and 11 are called Day of the Black Sun parts 1 and 2. Episodes 14 and 15 are The Boiling Rock parts 1 and 2. So, and then
Nice.
like I said, 18 through 21 is just called Sozin's Comet parts 1 through 4. Oof. But yeah, that's why the episode The Ember Island Players exists, so that you get one last here's the funny kid show that you all started watching, and it's great.
Not a unicorn chaser, but just a unicorn break.
Mm-hmm. Before you get into the real heavy shit.
Yeah.
You know me, I love the heavy shit. Bring it on.
That's true. Man.
Yeah, I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that was we burned through stuff, man.
Yeah,
crazy talk.
And
I didn't bring this up.
June is tomorrow.
Sure is. My birthday month.
Yay!
Woo!
We really got to figure out when we're doing those commentaries.
Yeah, we for reals do.
All right,
but we can talk about that off air.
Yeah. One quick thing. I didn't bring it up before because it's not like an earth-shattering thing, but it is kind of end of an era, regardless of how you feel about this person. But Joe Quesada officially left Marvel today after 20 years. Amicably, he wrote a really nice letter saying, I'm proud of what I've done. You haven't seen the last of me at Marvel doing stuff, but I am leaving Marvel to pursue other things.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay. He is arguably one of the reasons why, you could make an argument that without Joe Quesada, we would not have gotten the Netflix Marvel shows. Because him and Palmiotti brought through the Marvel Knights line. They brought back a version of the Punisher, and they reinvigorated Daredevil. I believe Quesada's who greenlit Bendis's Jessica Jones, all of that. Was kind of under Quesada's helm, and that's an impressive run. I know people have had issues with him in the past because no one's perfect, but that's a hell of a run. I'm curious to see what he does next.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was, like I said, not a big thing, but in the world of comics, that's a pretty big deal having Quesada move on to other things.
That is a big deal.
Yeah. So,
What are we
Yeah.
going to do next week?
Is it next week that we are having a guest? No, it is 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, we
Totally
can say
tease
it.
that.
We can talk about it now. It's not like we're gonna have on. Are we having on just Chris Waffle, or are we having he and Sarah?
That's a good question. I assumed both because it's their joint project.
Right.
But I don't actually have confirmation on that because I scheduled that interview on the fly. But we can say Chris Waffle of Mega Thruster
Mhm.
and his partner Sarah Spoon, who's also a friend of the show, are putting out a rap EP together. Their project name is they're as a duo. They are the Chris Waffle Explosion. And they kickstarted the album, and now they're in the final stages of getting that all together. And so he's going to come on. He or they will be on the show on the what day was that? The 14th, June 14th,
Yep.
in advance of the album release to talk about their bangers, as Sarah would call them.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That'll be
that'll
great.
be cool. Yeah, it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
I am still. I know we talked about it off air. I don't have a problem being vague here. I'm still talking to someone at Wizards of the Coast to pop on about an interview for Adventures in the Radiant Citadel.
No.
Which has been delayed.
It has been delayed, I think, for printing issues.
Yep. Well, everything is delayed. The Wizards announced a bunch of both Magic and D&D delays.
Yeah.
But if you're still interested, go to your local comic book store local friendly game store and pre-order
right.
it.
Don't go to
if
the
you want
unfriendly one.
Yeah.
No one goes there. Fuck them.
No.
You have choices now, nerds.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially if you want the fancy hobby store cover,
which I've seen. It looks very cool.
Yep. Yeah. I know that in 3 weeks, I will have a report from this year's LegoCon.
Woo!
Which is in 2 Saturdays from now.
The one in Portland?
No, this isn't. This is. Lego did this last year as well. It's a virtual convention.
Oh,
It is essentially their version of Celebration that they host through the internet. Feel free to watch it if you want to as well, and we can talk about it. But otherwise, I'll just kind of report what goes on.
Nice.
All right.
I am looking forward to that.
Yep.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Aaron Duran.
I'm Bean Rita.
And I am Kaebel Hashtani.
We'll talk to you all next week. End of line.